Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Tia's Digital Tea Time. It's 8 o'clock and we have an interview tonight with author Ryan Osborn. So I'm just waiting for him to come find me. I started the live and as soon as he finds me, he can tag himself in and I'll go ahead and, hey Holly, I'll go ahead and accept the request in. And that will be it. So while he goes and looks for me, Holly, if you get a chance, can you tag Ryan Osborn and see if you can get him in? So I hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday. So much happening today. I was at Katari's Pen is Lethal for a while. Author Dylan Page had a live going on where she was talking about Torment 1 and 2 and all the things going on there. So many exciting things. I got to talk today to Envy Rose earlier today. Oh, you're here. Okay. So Ryan, inside, you know what? Let me see if I can just invite you. Okay, so it's not gonna let me. All right. At the bottom of your screen. Oh, are you okay, Dylan? I'm sorry. I just stopped to. All right. At the sorry. I hope you're okay, Dylan. I'm about to be drunk too. Okay, so at the bottom of your page, Ryan, there should be, or your phone, a little guy holding a square. If you can hit that little guy holding a square for me, that should invite you into the live. So, poor Dylan. Dylan, I really enjoyed your live earlier today. Youngda, you're hilarious as usual. Holly, oh yeah. You should have, if you get a chance, I don't know if Dylan saved it, but if you get a chance, definitely go back to her secret group, the spoiler group, and go see that live. She was answering all sorts of questions. Okay, let me go and look and see. He's not in here, but I see Book Queen's here. Ryan, yeah, just look at the bottom of your screen. Hopefully you're using your, okay. Oh, Book Queen, I can't take you on right now. I would love to take you on, but I got poor Ryan Osborn trying to get in here. So I'm going to decline you, but I'll catch up with you later and you can come on live maybe after the interview. Oh, okay, sorry, Book Queen. I love you. I'd bring you on anytime I can. But let me get through this interview first and I can bring you on after that. And, okay, it says adding. So I have added Ryan to this. And, hey, Ryan, how are you? Hey, okay. Okay, it looks like it's taken a little bit for your phone to catch up with us. So I'm just going to wait because you're kind of frozen right now. You're frozen a little bit. Okay.
I have to.
Okay. What you can also do too that helps is you close out all your other, oh, okay, he's gone. If you close out all your other applications and turn on Do Not Disturb, that helps a lot. All the pixels. So yes, Dylan, don't whip your eye, whip your ass, or have someone whip your ass for you. Hi, Book Queen. I hope you're doing okay and you're well. Holly's in here. Yay. Okay. Well, guys, look what I went. At my last minute, I went and got my slushie from Sonic because you know what that means, right? All right. Let me try to add Ryan again. I got my slushie. Here's the vodka. Oof. I wanted to have it the other day. I had to drink wine the other day because, it says connecting. Hey, is that better?
There we go. Can you hear me?
Oh, yep, I can. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm doing great. I was just greeting all the people in the room. We have Gwen, who's my PA. We have Holly. She's a reader, an expert in my group. Dylan Page, author Dylan Page. Book Queen, another expert reader in my group. Let's see who else is here. We got Yongda, amazing author of Monster, Sex, and Romance. Ooh. And I know, right? Exactly. Definitely got to go check out Yongda's work. And we got some others coming in and out. So they're tagging people and stuff for me. So All right, tell me what you're drinking, because we start with the booze before we get to the books, and
I
then.
am drinking good old-fashioned Jack Daniel's whiskey.
Oh, there you go. Okay, well, I got my strawberry and lemon slush with a bunch of vodka I just poured in. So
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
it is actually quite good. I keep telling people it makes it too easy to drink, though. That's why everybody's like, you need to slow down a little bit, Tia, because So who else is coming into that don't think there's a Sonic in Canada? Oh man, where are you coming out of, Ryan? Where are you at?
I'm in Central Illinois.
Oh, that's okay. Actually, I know where you're at. You're in Peoria, right? Area.
No, I'm actually 45 minutes southeast of Peoria. I'm in Bloomington.
Okay, I used to go. So get this, I used to live in Collinsville, Illinois,
Oh,
and I used to be in that part of in Bloomington, Peoria, all those areas. I used to, guys, you might not know this about me. I'm actually quite religious, and I was active, very active in the Episcopal Church. And so I knew the priests in like Bloomington and Peoria, and the bishop as well. So
gotcha.
as I always tell people are like, how is it that you, Tia, are so religious and then write the uh, smut that I write? I'd say to people, if you like church, if you like ceremony in church, you love BDSM, because you'll love the BDSM and the ceremony in BDSM as well. Because
Yes.
BDSM is so similar to church. You're on your knees, you're serving a higher power, you're getting fed, there's a lot in common there, So I
Well,
would say,
I am also the religious type. I follow the religion of Wicca. I have
what?
since I was about 18.
Oh wow.
Um, in fact, my next work in progress is going to touch on the subject of Wicca, as my main character lost his faith, and part of his internal conflict is trying to find it again.
Oh, I love that so much. Oh my goodness. I had one of my best friends is Wiccan, and we've done some amazing things, powerful things.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, most of it, some of it involved my pool. For those of you who will not believe this, as a Christian, I'm firm in my belief of my deity, but that's my deity, and I respect everybody else worshiping whatever deity they worship. But I forgot what moon it was. It was this beautiful full moon, and it was so big. And we stripped down and swam naked under this full moon. And no lie, I felt so different when we got out of the water. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was amazing experience. And so so I look forward to, I hope I can read that one. I will admit I did not read this one that you put out. It is not you, it's me. I can't read mysteries and suspense, and I can't read high fantasy either. I hate to fall back on this, my MS. I can't keep up with clues and all the names and stuff. So I almost have to rely on people to tell me what's happening. Like I would be that person who never finishes because I have to keep going back. Like, wait, who's this person? So, but your cover is beautiful.
Thank
The
you.
premise sounds amazing. I read over your blurb. I kind of like looked into, how it was playing out and stuff, and I imagined it in my head. And I was like, oh, well, I wish I could read it, but maybe the Wiccan one, maybe that one's gentler and
Well,
less.
that one's also a suspense thriller because he has to find his missing sister.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're just gonna have to tell me what happened. But
But
I know that we have readers who love mystery and suspense. I used to be able to read it just fine. It's just I can't do high fantasy either, because you know how like you get introduced to like 20 characters with very hard names, and then they're all going to like 20 different very hard named places. Like I can't I can't read like Lord of the Rings or any of that anymore. Not since my last episode in 2018. Did a little damage, and so I can't like process it. But
yeah, I had to do an audio book of Lord of the Rings because I couldn't sit through it. I
So
was
it's
falling
hard.
asleep. It is a very hard read.
So I just it's hard for me, but I miss it in some ways because I used to read all the romances, like every genre. of the romance.
Mm-hmm.
Now I just read, I'm not gonna lie, I read like street lit and I read like dark romance, anything with a lot of sex, because believe it or not, sex is actually something I can understand easily. Go figure.
Well, if my suspense thrillers won't be your cup of tea, pardon the pun, I will be hopefully debuting my pen name, David Camley, this summer.
Oh, wow.
Towards the end of the summer, early fall.
Yeah.
And under my pen name, I write sexy romantic comedies.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. I can do that because, you know, it's like a hero and a heroine, or a hero and a hero, or a heroine or heroine, and then sometimes maybe a couple extra if it's like reverse hero. But I can keep up with that. And,
well,
you know.
Well, this one's about a polyamorous bear family.
I love that. I love that.
And each book in the series is going to be about how each one of them finds their different primary.
Oh, neat. Author Dylan Page writes, "Your mustache is magnificent."
Wait, thank you. My boys tend to call it my porn stash, and I'm not arguing that point.
We love porn stashes in our industry. You know? I'll be steer around here. You know, is your mom in the room yet? Should I be good?
I don't believe she is right at the moment.
Oh, okay. Your mom's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh."
No, I've warned her. I warned her in advance. It's okay. I told her there was probably going to be jokes about sex and there will be drinking. So.
She's like, okay. So, all right. So let's get this started. Tell us about you. Oh, Tara Hodel is also in the room. Tell us about you. Who are you and what you write for those who've never met you before tonight?
Okay. My name is Ryan Osborn. I am 42 years old, but that's a secret, so don't tell anyone. And I write gay romance. I write erotic suspense thrillers and sexy romantic comedies under a pen name. I'm an avid tabletop role-playing gamer. I love crafting stories and running games for my friends, and I cannot tell you how many times they have wanted to chase me out the door because I leave them at a cliffhanger. I love to crochet. I live alone in a one-bedroom apartment in Bloomington. I work as a personal assistant for a person with disabilities. That's my 9 to 5. Yeah.
There you go. Well, Yonda writes, "You don't even look 42." I'm 42 as well. My sister's in the room. Rachel, you are behind. I have tipped already a cup or two of vodka into this, and I'm sucking it down. I got the straw. This will be gone here within 10-15 minutes.
And thank you. I love compliments. So here's to the person who said I don't look 42.
There you go. That would be Yonda. So okay. Yonda says Tara writes. So author Tara Hodel writes. She just poured her vodka. I'm thinking I need to put some more in there. So author Dylan Page is like, "Shut up, you guys are not in your 40s." Yep. Me and Ryan were born in 79.
Well, I was born in 78.
78, like my husband. I was born in January of 79, so I am sucking it down, Yonga. Oh, Lene's in the room. Hi, Lene. Coming over from Katari's Pen is Lethal, which is my brother, what I call my brother group. We team up together a lot. We're here with Ryan Osborn. So for those of you coming over from that group, thank you so much for attending. All right, so this is your debut book, right?
Yes, this is my debut novel. It's not my debut published story, it's just my debut novel. I do have a short story published called Gold along with me, which is like literary erotica. There's not really so much romance, but it is a very good and very powerful story, which seems to have taken off lately. I have always loved mysteries and suspense thrillers. Yes. I got that from my dad because he loves mystery, suspense, horror, sci-fi, fantasy. My mom has always loved daytime soap operas and sweet romance, and I just kind of blended the two together and made what I wanted. So my ultimate weakness actually are romantic suspense thrillers where the main character doesn't know if the love interest is going to kiss him or kill him. Those are my guilty pleasure. So
Is that kind of what it like? Is it the thrill of not knowing if they're you're about to be murdered or sexed up, or?
Exactly. Now, in Kane's Alibi, I did not use that particular trope. I just wrote Kane's Alibi because I always wanted to write a murder mystery.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, since I always do the romance, Kane's Alibi actually saved my sanity last year during the shutdown. So I started at May of 2020 when everything got shut down and I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't go to work. I had a roommate at the time who had just suffered a stroke, and I was their main caregiver because their family lived so far away. So the way I passed the time and to keep my sanity in check was to write Kane's Alibi.
Oh wow,
So,
that's amazing. But were you always a writer up until that point, or just a reader?
oh
Or?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. When I was in my gentle sweet teens back in the 90s,
And they're
um,
talking about the 90s in the comments. I don't know if you see that. Tara's like, I was already doing bad things in the 90.
oh,
So
so
was
was
I.
I, but well, that's another story. So back in the late 80s and early 90s, when I was coming out as being gay and realizing who I was, I had always fallen in love with my mom and my grandmother's paperback romances. They would read like Harlequin and Silhouette and Love Inspired and all of these, and I loved the mysteries and the suspense thrillers, so they'd always give them to me because they didn't care for them too much. And I always wondered, why aren't there gay romances out here? You know, we're talking early mid 90s. So I started doing my research, found a whole bunch of supposed gay romances, and every single one that I read ended in some form of tragedy. Like one of the main characters would either die, such as in a certain movie that came out recently. One of the main characters would see the light of day and marry the girl next door, or they'd move away, or they'd get so mentally broken they could never have a healthy relationship again. And I got sick of it. It was kind of disheartening. Every movie, every book, every short story always ended with one of those endings. So I decided when I was in high school, well, hell, if they won't give me a happily ever after, I'll do it my damn self. So I wrote 3 young adult novels when I was in high school that were gay romances with happy endings. And
That's
I've just kind
amazing.
of and I've just kind of been writing them ever since.
So Young is saying, tell me what to read, Ryan. What do I start with? Well, this is his debut novel. So he'll have another one coming out. When do you think?
Oh my gosh. I am still writing the rough draft of Shadows of Thornbrook, which is my next suspense thriller. So I think I'm about halfway through it. So I've got about 12 or 13 more chapters to go.
Okay.
If you want to
So
start
Kane's
with me,
Alibi is the book to read right now.
Kane's Alibi is the book to read right now, yes. And I do have a short gay erotica out called Grow Old Along with Me, which is now currently available on Amazon.
Oh, there you go. All right, guys. So there you go. Those of you who read Mail, go check it out. My sister was commenting that our mom used to read Harlequins and those old
Yep.
romances. She was my mom. I'll never forget this. I was 14. It was summer. I remember that I ran out of books to read. I'd read all my Anne Rice books because it was the 90s. Remember all
Mm-hmm.
doing that. And I didn't know what to read. So I found a book in a drawer and it didn't even have the cover on it. And it was called The Wolf and the Dove from
Mm-hmm.
Catherine Wu Weiss. And it was a historical bodice ripper. And I was 14.
Mm.
I remember this is so clear in my head of me sitting on the couch. My sister, if you're listening, you'll know what I'm talking about because we were living in Bent Tree in the second duplex that we had moved into, and I'm reading it, and it like starts with an invasion, and then there's like a rape scene almost. And I remember, because she's been conquered, the Lord's coming in, he's marrying her, and he's going to secure the castle and his marriage to the And I remember thinking at 14 how shocked I was by this, but it was my first real romance outside of like the cheesy, like, not cheesy, but young romance, YA, whatever. But,
Yeah,
and it
young
was,
adult romance.
Yeah, so but I remember the 90s with the bodice rippers and the Harlequins and that as well. So, and you're right, there was no representation really for LGBTQ back then
Mm-mm.
in books like that. And you know, and how brave of you even to come out during that time because it wasn't easy back in the
No,
late 80s, early 90s. I had
no.
gay friends in school and it was brutal for them.
It was
I
brutal
had
for
a
me
friend who
too.
got jumped walking down the street with a skateboard because he was gay, like by like 4 or 5 people. Like, you know, that
Oh,
was.
damn.
Hmm. Oh yeah. So
Fun,
I
fun,
it's like that.
fun story about my high school. Like when I was in my late 20s, um, and I'd moved out of the town that I lived in, my hometown. I found out that there was a gay couple. That there was these two kids that were dating, a gay couple, and the one kissed his boyfriend in the hallway of the school just before the bell rang to dismiss for class or to signal the beginning of class, and they got expelled for it.
Oh my
All right.
gosh.
Now wait. This is the best part. 2/3 of the students at my old high school went on strike. They
Oh my
refused to enter the building and called the local news to come cover their strike because they refused to walk in because of the way that the gay couple was treated.
Oh, you know, I
That
will
gave me the
say this
feels.
for my Gen X brethren, like you're our age, you,
Hmm.
Tara, young on some level. She's a little younger, but I do appreciate that we were much more open to alternative, you know, or what we called alternative, which is regular relationships now. But you know,
Hmm.
um, back then, and in some ways, I feel bad because I think gay men had it worse because like we had lesbians like in my high school, and it was kind of like that's lame. They'd be made fun of maybe, but they not near the violence, physical violence that gay men were getting. You
That
know.
that's because gay men had to face what's referred to as toxic masculinity
Hmm.
because because of the fact that they preferred other men, they were considered effeminate and not fitting of society. So that's why they tended to get it worse than lesbians did. Um, like for example, the heteronormative is for guys really. The I'm not saying this is in general. I'm just saying that most straight guys like seeing two women together, so they're more accepting of a lesbian couple than they are
Yeah.
a gay couple, which hits closer to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like and it possibly makes them feel things that are uncomfortable to them, like things they maybe were not allowed to face or didn't want to face, you know, because I feel
Right.
like as a society, we as humans are probably would slide more bisexual if given that opportunity and accepted
Hmm.
for that, because I think most of us just love people, you know, and sex is or gender is secondary to the person as a person. You know.
Right.
um so that's wonderful. Well, that's so amazing. So you wrote this book, your debut novel here. You're going to write some romantic comedy,
Hmm.
erotic romantic comedy. And what else like do you have planned, like yeah.
Well, I don't just write fiction. Well, okay, I write fiction, but I don't just write stories. I don't always use the same media when I write my stories. For example, I have a published book of poetry that is out
Mhm.
too, under the name of Lord Shining Star. Most of it is poems that I've written from high school all the way up to last year. Um, and I also have an audio drama serial that I've been working on for years. We've got about 6 or 7 episodes of it finished. And basically, the story is it's basically a soap opera set in a Wiccan coven.
Oh, okay.
So the idea behind the drama was to show that pagans were normal everyday people
Hmm.
and that we have of all pagans are from all different walks of life, you know, and teaching the what is it? I'm trying to think of the word right. The population in general, more about paganism, uh, and how we're not here to hurt you. We're not going to curse you. We're not going to have orgies out in the field under a full moon. We're just everyday people trying to get by, you know?
Why not? Well, like, me and half the comments are going to be like, really? We can't do that? You might get more followers that way. Like that would more conversions over to Wiccan or paganism.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Oh, I said Yonda's posting links. I'm not quite sure what the links are to. I don't know if it's for yours. That my sister writes, I have a hard time sticking up. It's going to long story. I'm one of those people who fast forward porn onto the important parts. So I feel you there. Like I said, I can't keep up with it either. Oh, Gwen's leaving. Bye, Gwen. Sweet dreams. I know it's late for you. Up and out there doing faces. Also got to get up. All right, yeah, catch up with us. Some people will come back and we'll watch it later.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna share the link with a few people who didn't make it, like my mom, because she wanted to see my first live interview.
Oh yeah, and it's great. What I'll do is I download, and then I upload it to YouTube. Not because I have a following on YouTube, I don't, but it allows you to share the links with your family, your friends, your group, and stuff. Because mine's a private group, so.
Right.
Oh, that's apparently awesome. My mom is here. Well, your mom might not be here, but mine is. So there you go.
Hi, Mom.
So, well, that is so awesome, hon. What was it like? Like, what's your writing day like? Like, I know that during the pandemic you were home all the time, but now that you work, like, what's your writing day like? Like, how does it go?
If I'm not at work, I'm writing or advertising or working in my Facebook group, which actually just went live about a month or two before Kane's Alibi was published. I mean, I had it up there. I had one member besides me, and I didn't do anything with it because I had to deal with a move and help my family with finishing up my late sister's affairs, and then I had to move again, and it was just a mess. So when I finally got moved the second time and finally got settled down, I put that up and I started inviting everyone that I knew like crazy. And yeah, so if I'm not on the clock at work, I'm usually at my desk doing something for my writing career. They usually have to drag me out kicking and screaming just to get away from my computer.
Like your family and friends and that, right? They're like, oh, you gotta quit writing. Do you find it fulfilling and therapeutic, or like what does it mean to you to write?
When I write, okay, so I have the worst luck when it comes to romance. I'm going to share a secret with y'all, okay? I have had 14 ex-boyfriends in the course of my life.
Oh, wow.
14. And so my writing for me is kind of like my wish fulfillment. I will take on the role of one of the characters in my story and I will write what I want. You know, I will create a hero, which is my heart's desire. I give my characters my own mental issues. Like, for example, after my sister passed away, I had a trouble with my faith. I was losing my faith. And that's what inspired my main character in my future book, The Shadows of Thornbrook. He is a Wiccan who has lost his faith, and he has to try and find it again as part of his internal conflict. So what I do is if I have a conflict like that, I give it to my characters and let them work it out for me.
Oh, well, that's neat. So I love that. So, and it makes you feel better. Then it's like,
oh yes,
cheap therapy, like your other characters, the therapist. And I'm sorry to hear that you've had what you said, worst luck in love. Do you think it will always be like that, or is there someone special? Like, are you a hopeful romantic that you're just he'll come one day, or is it...
I'm more like a hopeless romantic.
Oh, there you go.
Actually, I am. I just went on a date yesterday. I just started talking to a really sweet guy, and we had a wonderful time. And I'm hoping that we can like hook up again soon. So keep your fingers crossed for me.
I will. Oh my goodness. Now, yeah. Let's see. Holly writes, "I'm cheering you on." Do you think he'll come across this video? Is he on your Facebook?
Probably, because I was going to post the link on my Facebook page.
Brian had a good time. Take him out again. It's so nice. Well, I'm hoping this is the one for you. Yeah. If it's not,
I hope so
but
too.
I'm hoping it for, Well, I'm glad you were able to have a nice date. I'm sorry to hear about your sister. That's got to be very hard because we're only in our 40s, so she couldn't have been, young. She was young then.
She was the age I am now when she passed away. She was 42. I was 39.
Oh, I'm so
Just
sorry.
before my 40th birthday. In fact, if you purchase Kane's Alibi, I dedicated it to her.
There you go, readers. Check it out so you can see what he dedicated to his sister. That's sweet.
Here we are.
Oh, yeah, I love this. It's a nice cover too.
That was actually done by my friend Patrick DeRosa, who is an amazing graphic designer.
Oh,
this was the first cover he ever did.
Oh,
he did this. I gave him a sheet of proofs that somebody had given me in a different Facebook group because I was trying to do my own covers. Thank you, Lillian. And I said, here's an example of what romance books look like today. Can you do something for me? Here's the couple that I want you to use. And he did this. And I was just floored. So I told him, you need to do this. I mean, there's authors out there who would just love to pay for your work. You need to do this. You can make a killing.
And what did he say? Is he going to?
I haven't the foggiest idea.
No, you should get with them. We'll definitely put his link in there. Okay. Oh, that's from Rebecca Lynn. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
are you
that
gonna
was
name
my
a character
dedication.
after her? Like,
I did not, but I have a friend that is a budding author. I love her to death. She is one of my dearest, dearest friends. I've known her for almost half of my life already. She writes speculative romance. So she does like the high fantasy romance and sometimes like urban fantasy romance.
Yeah.
And she's currently working on a trilogy right now. And she actually named one of the supporting cast members in her books after my sister, which gave me all the feels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I love
it's a beautiful name. So, yeah.
It is.
Well, now that you've written this book, you're writing your next one. What's the dream? Do you hope to be a full-time author? Do you love your job at the disability office? Like, what is it for you? What's the dream?
I've already accomplished my dream.
Just to get the one
Just
book
being
out?
a published author was my dream. Whether I become the next Stephen King or Nora Roberts or Maggie Shane, that's up to fate. But I've already accomplished my dream. I wanted to be a published author of gay romance. And I've just done that. So
wonderful. All right. Well, who are you reading these days then? Like, when you're not writing your own, do you have time to read at all? Do you get to read other books or?
Oh yes. I do read for fun and I do read for play. Right now I have a book blog that I do on my website. I've done 2 so far. Right now I am reading Arise My Darling by Amber Anthony. She is one of my favorite authors. I actually got to meet her. I met her in a different writing group I belong to, and she had asked me to read an arc of one of her previous books, and I did, and I fell madly in love with it. It was the 3rd book in a series, so I had to go back and start at book 1. I told my mom about it. My mom became a big fan. She writes, she does a little bit of romantic comedy, and she also has this really great vampire series called Blood Trilogy, which is phenomenal. And if you ever get a chance to read the audiobooks, they're great. And the voice of Jacob Emery, who narrates the books, melts. Anyway,
well, that's a lot for half the group right there. We'll be like, what? Good voice? We like that.
Arise My Darling is I would say it's more of a metaphysical romance. And I love it. I am like on chapter 2 or 3 right now, and I can't. It's very rare that I have ever found a book that hooks me and drags me kicking and screaming to the very end.
Oh, wow. Well, all right, hold on. Tara Hodel writes, "Oh my God, Facebook hates me today." That's okay, Tara. We love you.
And I don't necessarily work at the disability office. I
Oh,
work in a personal home assisting someone
oh,
with disabilities.
oh,
So
okay. I'm sorry.
I do like their housework, their heavy lifting. I help them with their shopping. Help them with their doctor's appointments. I do help them get dressed. Basically, I'm a caregiver.
Oh,
That's
I
what I do
love
on my nine
that.
to five. hmm
Prince Griffin asks, "Where can we order your book?"
Okay. My books are available on barnesandnoble.com and amazon.com. Um, I prefer publishing wide, so other than one book, which I've already promised to a series that I'm going to be working with other authors, uh, that book I'm plotting will be Kindle Unlimited for a short time, but most of my other work will be wide, so you can probably get it just about anywhere.
All right, guys. So there you go on that. People are commenting how awesome you are, especially for being a caregiver, because that's never an easy job. Um, you know, so tell us a little about, you said you have a hobby of table game playing, like,
Tabletop role play.
yes, role play. So
Um,
for those who don't know what that is, I kind of know. I used to play D&D at least anyway. For those who
yep,
don't know.
that's the most common one.
Mhm.
The one I play, the one I tend to be the storyteller. Everyone always wants me to be the storyteller because I'm the one who comes up with the most fantastic stories. So not only that, but I enjoy playing God. Um, my favorite game to play is Vampire the Masquerade.
Oh,
Um,
wow. That's an
I
oldie.
actually,
That's been around for a long time.
mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. I didn't
And
even know people still played that. Wow.
oh yes, I ran a Vampire the Masquerade game that lasted for 6 years, and we played it every week.
Oh my gosh.
It got so popular. It started with just 6 friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it had gotten so popular because people would come over because they wanted to hear my story. They wanted to hear how I was working these characters and my antagonists and how they interacted and wanted to see who was going to fail or botch their role or whatever. And the one thing that kept it going was that I would always end every session on a cliffhanger to make them have to come back next week to find out what happened.
Do you think,
Hey!
oh, is that your mom?
No, WSP is actually
Oh,
one of my all-time dearest friends.
hey,
She
Debbie.
has been a big, huge supporter of me. I've known her for about 13 years.
Oh, welcome to Tia's Digital Tea Time. Thank you for joining us tonight. What I was going to ask you about your game, that will you ever write vampires, you think? I mean, you said you're going to write like Wiccan, you'll write romantic suspense. What about
I
paranormal?
I started a vampire romance where my alpha male hero was a vampire,
Mm-hmm.
but I trashed it because of a lot of things that were going on out in the world in the last couple of years. The story was called Night Hunger, and my hero, my love interest, was a a vampire who was turned right around the end of the Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
and he was the son of a plantation owner.
Oh,
And
wow.
his best friend was a slave that had belonged to his father that he turned into a vampire so that way he could live to see a day when African Americans could be free, kind of as a gift for being so loyal and so trusting a friend. And with everything that was going on in the world last year with all the rioting and stuff, I was scared to death to publish it because some of the things that he remembers, like rescuing his friend when the overseer tried to beat him, and things like that. I was afraid that people were gonna like get on my case for it,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that's
So I
really,
wanted to.
yeah. Do you still have a copy somewhere? Like, can you revisit at another later date?
I do. I actually do a production Bible for all the books and stories that I write, where I try to work out all the intricacies of the hero and the love interest. And I still have that, but I erased the 5 chapters that I had written because I had started that just before the rioting began last year. And that's when I was like, no, I can't do this because I'm going to get into too much detail and nobody's going to want to read it, or I'm going to get bashed for it. Yeah. Maybe in about 10 years, I might try it again. But right now, no.
Yeah. Now, do you feel like you get anybody who looks down at you, not for being gay necessarily, but for writing gay romance? Or people are like, oh, romance, why are you writing this? You know?
The part that they get down on me for is when I tell them that I write erotic romance, they turn around and say, oh, you write porn? And it grits on my teeth. It sets my teeth on edge. No, I don't write porn. Yes, my love scenes tend to get really spicy, but no, there is a reason for that scene. You got to read the story. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler for Kane's Alibi here. In the story Kane's Alibi, Kane is trying to get Alex to give him an important piece of information to solve the murder. Okay? And Alex doesn't trust him enough to give him that piece. So Kane uses sex to try and win Alex's trust. So if I were to take out those love scenes, the story would collapse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because that's how people in a relationship, yeah.
Right. So what people don't understand is there's a difference between pornography and erotic romance and sexy romance and literary erotica and porn.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the one thing I tend to get the most grief over. Most people are absolutely thrilled that I write gay romance, you know, but not necessarily they just assume that I'm writing a sweet romance where you can close the door on the sex and you still have an emotionally satisfying story. Oh, no.
Well, how about this? Because I didn't get to read it. Do you have a small excerpt you can read us real quick from your book?
Absolutely. I do.
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing my release party, I actually read this excerpt of Kane's Alibi live on my Facebook group, and I got a lot of people who really liked it. So,
there you go. Yonda, look what happened.
Oh,
I know, right? So bummed. I should have gotten 2 slushies. I don't know why I didn't do that. I do too. I love how excited he gets for this. Your friend is happy to see you happy.
Yes. Yes, she is.
So for those of you who just might be coming on, we're about to get, I know Younger, right? No. Yeah, for those of you who might be coming in, we're about to get an excerpt written by, from Kane's Alibi, written by Ryan Osborn.
Kane's Alibi, Chapter 1. People were laughing and music filled the air on the warm early fall afternoon. It was just what he needed. It had been a difficult day unloading freight at the docks. Kane glanced around the tall apartment building. The projects looked just as bad as they did when I lived here. Kane locked up his car and lit up a cigarette. He took a deep drag and strolled towards the music. The parking lot hosted several collapsible tables with people sitting and talking at each. In front of them, they had hamburgers and fries and chips and soda and beer. As he approached the tables, a voice piped up. Kane, my man, you made it. Johnny Pierce, his young red-headed friend, came bounding up the sidewalk from the grill. Kane had met Johnny almost 2 years ago when he had come strolling into a Narcotics Anonymous meeting looking like he was at the end of his rope. Kane had taken the young man under his wing and helped him recover, and the two became fast friends. Today he was smiling. He wore a Hawaiian print shirt, bright colors, and oversized flowers everywhere. His hair was a mess from the breeze. Here, let's get you a beer. That would be great, Kane smiled. He followed Johnny back to the grilling area. I could use something to take the edge off today. Everything okay? Yeah, just another reaming by the boss. Well, you're good now, man. Hey, Sarah, look who showed up. Sarah Davenport, Johnny's girlfriend, looked up from the table where she placed a stack of paper plates and plastic cups. Hey, Kane. Her long, crimped brown hair was hanging back from her heart-shaped face with a sprinkle of freckles across her nose. Her green sundress formed gently around her, flowing in the gentle breeze. Johnny patted Kane on the shoulder and led him over to a table with a cooler on top and several plates of food and various bags of chips. Name your poison. Ice-cold beer would be perfect, said Kane. Johnny reached in and produced a bottle of beer, handing it to him. It's not the best, but it's ice-cold and it's wet. Kane popped the cap off and tipped the head of the bottle to his lips. Just what I needed on a day like today. Right. Good food, great friends, and plenty of ice-cold beer. The two laughed. Kane Devlin, you put that cigarette out at once. Sarah's voice came booming over from the other end of the long table. Johnny turned to face Kane, eyebrows raised, and turned them away as if to say, oh, you're in trouble now. Kane dropped the cigarette, crushed it out on the ground, picked up the butt, and stuck it in his pocket. I forgot, Sarah doesn't like smoking, does she? No, she doesn't. After a moment, a smile spread across Johnny's mouth. Hey, man, there's someone I'd like you to meet. Kane nodded. Johnny led him through the people until he came to a young man who appeared to be in his mid to late 20s. He also had red hair and a long, square face. His sideburns connected his hair to his short, full beard, framing his chin and jawline, and mustache the same color as his hair. His white t-shirt and blue jean shorts just above the knee form-fitted his generous curves. He wore a pair of men's sandals on his bare feet. But this man's most striking feature was his starry blue eyes. Kane could not get past them. Damn, you're hot. Another redhead. I wonder if he's any relation to Johnny. Alex Randall, I would like you to meet a good friend of mine. This is Kane Devlin. Alex extended his hand. His eyes seemed to perk up when he reached out. Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure's all mine. Kane took Alex's hand and shook it firmly. Well, I better get back to the grill. Johnny made a beeline before either of them could say a word. Johnny, Kane began, but he was gone. Thanks, man. I appreciate you leaving me here to make a fool of myself. Rather feel like you planned that. Yeah, the little weasel. Kane smiled. He thought to himself, you, Mr. Randall, might be the best of luck I've had in a long time. Out loud. Have you lived here long or in the city? Yeah. No, I'm not from around here originally. Alex shook his head, not taking his eyes from Kane. Yep, those baby blues are drilling themselves into me. Now who are you, Mr. Alex Randall? Where are you from originally? Everywhere. Kane grinned. That was rather vague. I'm a very vague person. I highly doubt that, and I wouldn't mind finding out more. Oh? Huh? Alex's eyes sparkled with mischief, and he smiled broadly. Kane felt his knees nearly give way. Straighten up, Kane, my boy. Don't make the man think you a fool. Alex took a drink from a can of soda sitting next to him. People started walking away with plates covered in aluminum foil. It looks like things are starting to wind down here. Yeah, they do. Johnny approached just then. Sorry about that, guys. In his hands, he held a plate covered with a hamburger and chips and handed it to Kane. Since you came late. Kane took the plate from Johnny. Thanks, man. No problem. Alex, did you get enough to eat? Alex patted his belly. Yes, plenty. Thank you. I hope you had a good time. Johnny patted Alex on the shoulder before heading back towards Sarah. Both of them looked up at Alex and Kane and smiled before returning to their cleanup. The burgers are fantastic. Johnny certainly has a way with the grill. Alex motioned to Kane's plate. I know. Kane sat at a nearby table. I taught him everything he knows. He took a bite of the burger and let the juices run down his tongue. There is some improvement. Good for you, Johnny. So what do you do? Kate put down his hamburger. I work on unloading freight. Can't you tell? He flexed one of his arms, and Alex laughed. What about you? Jack of all trades, master of none. There you go, being vague again. So how do you know Johnny? He and I attended A together. Alex nodded. How many years clean do you have? 5 years, 6 months. Congrats. Thanks. Kane smiled around a sip of his beer. He finished his meal and took a final drink of the beer before he set his bottle aside. I'm sorry. He took a final drink of the beer from his bottle before peering into it and frowning. Seems like I've run dry. Bummer. But there is one way to fix that. Go get another one? Kane smiled and shook his head. I was thinking something a little more intimate. Alex raised his eyebrow in one part doubt, one part anticipation. And what do you have in mind? Oh, maybe a drink this evening and possibly more conversation. Alex smiled. Let me see your phone. Kane unlocked his phone and handed it to Alex. Alex started typing on its smooth surface and then handed it back. Here's my cell number and my home number. Text me later. I gotta go. Kane nodded. He watched Alex as he walked over to Johnny and Sarah and gave his goodbyes. He then bent down to pick up a black jacket from a nearby chair. As Alex straightened up, Kane's eyes trailed down his frame. Man, I hate to see you go, but I will enjoy watching you walk away. Alex started heading towards the front of the building. Sarah grabbed a jacket and quickly chased after him. Hey, wait, Alex! Alex turned around to face her. What's up? You grabbed Johnny's jacket. Huh? Alex looked at the jacket he was holding. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. He handed it to her, and she gave him the coat she held. Thank you. That could have been bad. Thanks for coming. I hope you had fun. I did. Thank you again for inviting me. No sweat. Sarah turned around and headed back to Johnny. Alex disappeared inside the building. Kane stared at Alex's number on his phone. Alex, huh? What's the harm? He continued to stare at the phone as the numbers burned themselves into his memory. He stood up and walked back over to his friends. Is there anything I could do to help clean up? No, thank you, Kane. I think we got it. Sarah collected used paper plates and tossed them into a black trash bag she was holding. Okay, I think I'm going to jet. Thanks for inviting me. I had a lovely time. And Johnny, the burgers were perfect. Johnny laughed. Thanks, man. See you around. Good night, Kane. Sarah waved to him. Kane turned and made his way to his car. Kane, what the hell are you thinking? Well, then again, what's wrong with a night of fun with a handsome man? Blow off some steam, maybe have some fun later on if things work out. What could be the harm?
Oh my goodness. Did he try to take the jacket on purpose?
No, it was an accident.
It was an accident. Okay, I wasn't sure. That was like
They looked alike.
Oh, okay. I was like, was that like a clue? Okay, this is why I don't, because I would have been like, did he do it on purpose? Oh, okay, wonderful. That is so fun to get to meet the meeting. It's always
Kane and Alex.
Yeah. My dog's crying. Warren. Sorry, I'm calling my husband. Warren. But when I call, my sister. Okay, puppy, lay down. Oh, forget. Take him potty or something. Oh, wait, he's gonna lay down. Uh-oh, no.
Bad storm.
Hey. So my dog is deaf, and as you can see, he's threatening my husband. So give me 1 second. I know, because he was abused, so he doesn't want to be taken away from me. He's afraid to leave me alone.
Aww.
Come on. Okay, there you go. See, Daddy's not gonna hurt you. Yeah, that's so sweet. But when he has to be taken from me, like when Warren has to bring him outside, and he gets upset and he like growls and stuff. But I don't know if he knows what he's doing because he can't hear. So I think he might just be voicing his displeasure. I don't know if he would actually bite my husband or not, but yeah, he's a pit bull, so he's big. But my husband's a big guy too, so I feel like Warren can handle himself. But I see my sisters making fun of me calling my husband because that's what I was screaming. I'm like, Warren. Well, our time is almost up here. So I guess if I had to
Okay.
wrap up, what I wanted to know is what is it you want readers to know? Like, I don't know, it could be about you, your books. Like, what is it something you wish read your other mommies here? Sorry, my sister, I call her new mommy because she took Clyde for a little bit, but Clyde's a very needy dog. So she brought, yeah, like, she was babysitting him, but my husband's like, you can have him. Because look what happened. But anyway, so what would you like readers to know, like about you or your, like, what is something you wish they knew or you would like them to know?
Something that I'd like my readers to know. Okay, so the best thing to know about me and my writing is that I write sweet erotic romance mixed with heart-stopping suspense.
Okay. Well, that was straight
Um,
into the point. Anything
yes, that
else?
was very straight to the point.
I know. I'm like, I got
That's
4 minutes.
the best way to get to know me is to read my stories because, like I said, they're my wish fulfillment. So the best way to get into my head is to read my stories. When I wrote Kane's Alibi, I took the role of Alex in that story because I connected to him, I resonated with him, and his interior conflict is based around anxiety, which is something that I suffer from.
Oh, wow.
So if you read Kane's Alibi and you want to get to know me, keep in mind that part of me is an Alex, because that's how I wrote the story.
So my sister writes, I'm going to have to try one. There you go. Well, um, I thank you so much for coming on today. Guys, if you get a chance, join his reader group. It's called The Lightning Crew.
Yep.
I hope you'll go check it out. I was there for his launch party. It was fun. I had a great time. Um, you'll find him hanging out there. Also, thank you guys for those who coming over to hang out at TS Digital Tea Time. And did you have kind of an estimate when you think your next book's going to be out? Like, when should we start looking for it?
Well, my pen name's first book, Mason's Story, from my Bear Family series, will probably come out before Shadows of Thornbrook. I kind of bounce back and forth depending on my mood. If I'm in a dark mood, I do my suspense thriller. If I'm in a happy-go-lucky mood, I do my comedies.
Oh, there
So
you go.
before the end of the year, though, my next book will be out. I promise.
Okay, so all right, so look, maybe late summer, fall, I guess, around then. You think?
Probably about mid to late fall. I'm aiming to get Shadows of Thornbrook out probably about mid to late fall because it's set in the fall. So
Oh, well, there you go. Now, guys, he'll post the links in the comments and stuff. After we hang up here, we'll go through comments and answer any questions I might have missed. I try to keep up on the scrolling, but I've had at least 2 cups of vodka. I might have missed some things. I don't know. And at least somebody was, still cognitive. Possibly can see better than me. So thank you so much, Holly. She said we had a wonderful interview. So Ryan, thank you again so much for coming on. I really appreciate you. And you're always welcome on, let us know when your next book comes out. And do post that, anytime you have an event or something so that we all know to come hang out and buy your next book or come to your party or whatever it might be. So, all right. So
I will most definitely. Thank you for having me, Tia. Good night, everyone.
thank you guys. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you later.